And welcome back, everybody. Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Ruffers, Josh Blankenship. And before we get started, Josh, I got to say thanks to last week's extreme effort by Jordan Mangus. I mean, in the spur of the moment, the young man stepped in, took the microphone, fed you some questions that I think challenged the head coach just a bit.
Yeah, he stumped me on a couple, but I tried to roll with it.
Well, certainly want to appreciate him, and it is nice to be back here in the studio with the coach of the Ruffers. And 9 weeks are into the season, 1 week still left to go, but let's talk about your thoughts coming out of the Putnam City ball game. A ball game where really not a lot to play for as far as the Ruffers' postseason hopes were concerned, but perhaps that Ruffer pride showed up Friday night in a ball game that went all the way to the closing minute.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys that battled to the end, and that's what we've asked them to do. It's one of those challenges, like you said. There's not a reward as far as the postseason goes. So it's essentially playing for what's inside of you, what kind of pride you have, and a lot of our guys did that. And to the point where we scored at the end of the game, kicked the onside kick, and then got a chance to possibly cause a turnover, almost due. Officials stopped it, and the game ended, and we just fell short.
Well, in that ball game, it was interesting to me to watch our players participate because you were going, like we've already said, into a situation where Putnam City had everything to play for, and the Ruffers were simply wearing that Ruffer pride across their chest. And I was proud of the young men, even though the outcome didn't come the way we wanted it to. 20-17 was the final score, but still, it was a ball game that could have been, maybe should have been, but just didn't come up on the high end of the scoreboard. But I think that speaks to the depth and the pride that these guys have developed. The character, I think, is the best word.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, it's what we win or lose, no matter what our record was or is this year, even if it's next year and we're having an undefeated season, I still hope that character's evident in the way we play and the way we battle, regardless of what type of season we're having.
Well, certainly from future rewards come the results of your toils of the past, and Ruffers certainly have experienced this season full of those. But let's take a look back at last week's video highlights, see some of the big plays from last week's game, and right off the get-go, we see Ty Beasley come in here and kind of show what the Ruffers are made of.
Well, takes on a block is the awesome thing there. He takes on the block, sheds it, and makes the tackle. They had some really talented athletes, especially their quarterback could really take off and run.
Guy had a good night all night long was Double Deuce Rondell Cooper. He was kind of forced into the must carry the football situation because of some injuries, having to go the whole game, and Coop delivered, I think, to the expectations of the offensive coaching staff.
He did, and I think he'd credit that O-line. We've got a little candy bar reward system, and the whole O-line got their share of candy bars this week. And
certainly another big play from the defense here. We'll see Kelton Randolph get in the backfield and disrupt the running game, and really the Ruffer defense did that for the most part all night long. This is going to be one of those quick slants, and it's nice to have Anthony King back out there.
Sure was. He's one of our playmakers that we've got, and to be missing him was tough. Having him back is obviously a good thing.
Nice little play action boot back to the short side with Trevor delivering the pass back to Rondell Cooper, and he was chugging the engine as fast as he could. I just didn't know if he was going to have enough gas in the tank.
We'd run that play, I guess, against Edison and against Fayetteville, and both times before he'd gotten tackled about on the 2, so we were glad to see him get in the end zone this time.
Jefferson Moore making a catch on that preceding play. Here's Trevor with a nice little toss down the field. Another good catch by Anthony King, moving the sticks, keeping the drive going. Then here's a young man that has had to play through some injuries, Mackenzie McCall. He was bound and determined to get to the first down marker.
That's the way he plays. He's not going to let anybody stop him. He can be banged up, and he's still going to give you everything he's got.
A little bubble pass out on the side, and
great
good block out, excellent block out on the edge, and that allowed King to get up the field, make about 9 yards there.
It's little Bryson Bell with that pancake block there.
Nice to see that young man, and he's going to be coming back, giving even more in the future. And here's Double Deuce again, stepping right, going left, and up the middle for a first down run. And then again, this will be McKenzie making some extra yards after a catch on the screen pass.
Yeah, I mean, we get him out there in space. We're obviously in a 3rd and about 25 type of situation where there's not a whole lot of calls in your playbook for that situation. He
short
gets all the
yardage
way
situation, and looked like it stood up for a moment. And Trevor kept the legs going. Offensive line just kept pushing, and got to that first down marker. And that's kind of the way the whole ball game went. It was just keep giving. 1 or 2 mistakes through along the way, a busted tackle here and there, and kind of spelled the difference in the ball game. But Ruffers will come back this Friday night, put a wrap on the 2012 season, and they'll do that on the road against the Bixby Spartans. And that in itself is a challenge, Coach, having to play your final 2 games of the year when the playoffs have been all but decided. And for a senior class, it's their last time to really stand up and show their not only their abilities, but their desire and what they want to leave behind for the younger guys.
And that's really what they've got to be focused on. We say legacy. They've got to be focused on what they want to pass on, what they want to leave, what they want to be remembered for. And right or wrong, that last game, says a lot about what that legacy is. And everybody wants to win their last game. We've got an opportunity, even though it's away, play a team a lot like us, and a lot of the same situations, talent level about the same. So we've got a battle on our hands, and hopefully we'll come ready for it.
Well, certainly it'll be a ball game that our 22 seniors will remember for a lifetime. Josh, you played through that final game as a senior, and even though it was a long, long time ago, I still remember those last moments too. So it'll be something that'll last a lifetime for the Ruffers of 2012, the senior class, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in our show. When we come back, though, it'll be time to meet this week's champion of the week. That When Ruffer Football Coaches Show continues here on TV 15. Welcome back here on TV 15. Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Ruffers, Josh Blankenship. Coach, we're going to go a little old school here today, but we're going to throw back to bring in our champion of the week, a guy that just does it the old-fashioned way. He shows up, takes care of his business. I know you're proud of Mr. Buchanan.
Extremely proud of Aaron Buchanan, champion of the week. He's been the champion all year long. We just finally have an opportunity to recognize him for what he's done. He doesn't get the glory and the fame that some of the guys do that get to go out there and play every Friday night. But I couldn't be more proud of how he shows up. He jumps in everything. If we need a volunteer for something, he's one of the first ones to jump in. Very well-mannered, very polite, knows how to take care of his business, very respectful, and you think a champion and what that guy would act like on and off the field, and Aaron fits that bill.
Well, let's give you a chance to meet Aaron Buchanan. He is our champion of the week. And Buck, when Coach says all those things, what goes through your mind? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. I just try and do what I do to help my team so we can go out and win the next play.
Now, throughout this season, obviously there have been ups and downs, and this is a senior season for you. And though there hasn't been that starting role position that a lot of players would like to live.
I'm sorry, it's not picking him up.
It's not picking me up?
Well, it was first. I didn't get anything. You do it again.
Can I do it again?
Talking to that mic.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now put it up to him.
Testing.
He's gonna have to talk louder.
That may be hard.
You want to hold it a little further from you, Bill?
You, hey, I got an idea. Hold on.
Are you to give him that?
Yep.
Okay.
Or what I can do, give me just a second. Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yeah, you project pretty well. Once it went up there, it was like, I don't hear anything. I thought,
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hold this in my hand just like this, and we'll use the crowd mic.
That'll work.
Okay? Let me button my butt. No, not at all. Let me make sure I get a good grip on this thing. How about now? Can you hear me? Try the wireless. Can you hear me okay? All right, let's see if you can hear Buchanan. Say your name, your age, and your, you don't have to say your social ID number, but just tell me your age and your number.
Aaron Buchanan, 17.
Is that all right? All right, good deal. All right, 5, 4, take 2 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back here on TV 15. Time for this week's champion of the week, and a guy sitting between the coach and I as we go old school with this microphone, kind of back to the days where you had to pass it back and forth, Josh. Here's the guy, though, that I know as head football coach of the Ruffers, you don't mind passing responsibilities to, Aaron Buchanan.
Aaron Buchanan's one of our guys that doesn't get the glory and the fame that some of the starters do, if that's really what they get. But he's a guy that behind the scenes is a complete champion on and off the field. If we need something done, he's the first one to volunteer to do it. If he sees something that needs to be done, it doesn't even have to be addressed. He's over there doing it. He carries himself in a very champion-like manner. He's a yes sir, no sir, please, thank you, very well-mannered man, and just a great mentor and role model for our younger kids. A guy that we consider a program kid that does everything and then some that we want him to do.
Well, certainly, let's give our followers here on TV 15 a chance to meet this guy that Coach speaks so highly of, Aaron Buchanan. Coach had a lot of good things to say, Buck. What does that make you feel inside?
It makes me feel great. I try and be a champion every day, make sure I work hard for my team, make sure we go out and win the next play.
Now, a lot of the times you're not the guy that's out there under the bright lights, but every day in practice you're out there, whether it's taking on offensive blocking responsibilities with scout team offense, or maybe even flipping it over and going against the twos or ones, whatever it may be. Kind of how do you figure your role here in 2013? What is it that you want to make the other guys on the team remember about Aaron Buchanan?
That I was a hard worker, and if anybody needed help, I'll always be there for them.
Now, champion. Record's not what I know all the Ruffers want, all the Ruffer fans, Coach wants, but what does being a champion, not only on the field but off, mean to Aaron Buchanan?
It means how I act during practice, say no sir, yes sir. Even when I'm out of football, during school, I make sure that if the teacher need help, I help her. And anything that I could do for anybody, I'm always there to help them.
Now, as a senior, you know this is going to be the last game on Friday night that you put on the pads for the Ruffers. Have you thought about that, and have you thought about what this playing time has meant for you and what you look back with fond memories?
Yes, sir. It's going to be hard for some of us seniors because we've been part of this program since we was little. And just not long ago, we got Coach Blankenship, and he built us up to be men, and we work hard to strive for this year.
Well, certainly some of the experiences that these young men have been through the past 2 seasons, Josh, are going to prepare them for future challenges. Life is filled with those opportunities to succeed. And guys like Aaron Buchanan certainly will have those opportunities, and I have no doubt that he's got what it takes to be a champion in the days ahead.
He sure does.
Aaron Buchanan, he is our champion of the week. When we come back, we'll talk about next week's ball game, this Friday night's final regular season game against the Bixby Spartans. Aaron Buchanan will be on the field, so will the Ruffers. We'll talk about what Muskogee must do to get a win to end 2012. That after this time out here on TV 15. Good deal.
Nice job.
Good job, buddy. Appreciate you. Welcome back here on TV 15. Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Ruffers, Josh Blankenship. And, Coach, it's week 10. It hardly seems as it was just a day or two ago we were talking about the season opener, and lo and behold, we're into the final game of 2012. Kind of the scenario going into this week is to play again with Ruffer pride.
No doubt. We've got this last game that what we say is really going to show what's inside of you, because it's going to be hard. There's no give me situation in this game. We're playing a team that's virtually a mirror image of us as far as the type of season they've had, and the fact that they won't be going to the postseason either. So they're probably having some of the same battles we are. They're going to be fighting for their pride, and I think ultimately it's going to come down to which team wants it more. And I know that's kind of cliche, but when you get in these types of games where it's simply about what's inside of you and why you're playing, and there's not a reward as far as going to the playoffs or any kind of postseason extension of your season. It's ultimately about what's inside of you. Why do you want to go out there and battle for 4 quarters? What if things don't go right? Because that's adversity is a guarantee in the game of football. And how are we going to respond when that happens? It's ultimately going to come down to the group of teenagers that decides that they want to finish their season with a win.
And while there are a number of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors that'll have a chance to redeem themselves if the school board doesn't end up the way you want it to, or carry that momentum over to next year, there's 22 guys that'll put on the pads for the final time. And as a senior, it's your last chance at glory. It's your last chance to remember what it was like to be a Ruffer football player, and certainly something you want to carry with you for the rest of your life is that irregardless of the score, you gave your all, you committed your all, and it makes worthwhile all the hours you spend in preparation.
You know, there's nothing, in my opinion, and I know I'm biased, more special than high school football. Even if you get the opportunity to go play in college, you'll never play with a group of guys for more than 4 years. Only in high school football do you get to play with a group of guys that you grew up with and have been around your whole life. And so that's what, when you get our age and older.
Yeah.
That's what you remember, though, is the camaraderie that you had with those guys that you played with and went to battle with. This is the last game that this group of people will ever be assembled for a football game, and it's a deal. We want the seniors to be able to leave with a positive note and a good taste in their mouth, and with the feeling of victory as they leave. But yeah, like you said, we want to set the table for those juniors, sophomores, and freshmen for next year to get a little momentum going into spring. So
22 players. 22 are going to put on the uniforms for the final time as Ruffers, and whether they play in the offensive line, whether they play quarterback, running back, wide receivers, whether they're on the defensive side up front or in the back end at linebackers, or whether they're handling the kicking chores like Preston Soper, to have a chance to do something special your last game is something that they'll remember for a lifetime, and the Ruffers need your support Friday night there at Spartan Stadium. Game time is 7:30. We want you to make the short drive over to Bixby. Show your Ruffer pride in coming to support these young men, the coaching staff, as they wrap up 2012 and bring home the victory on Friday night in the game against Bixby. If for some unforeseen reason you can't make the trip to Bixby, you can follow it on radio 100.3 FM or also online at MuskogeeRuffers.tv. Coach, it's been a lot of fun this year. We'll do it one more time next week, kind of recap the entire year. But certainly I know one thing. It'll make taking care of Deacon Lee a whole lot easier on Friday night with a victory over Bixby.
Yeah, I'm in a lot better mood when we win. So
well, and then maybe the baby sleeps all night too long.
That'd be
That'll
nice.
make it good for you and for Lindsay.
That'd be nice.
Well, we'll hope to see you on Friday night at Spartan Stadium, Muskogee and Bixby. For Aaron Buchanan, our champion of the week, and head coach Josh Blankenship, I'm Bill Huddleston saying so long. Let's go Ruffers.